Welcome back. Well, that's where we are. Sorted statistics, but hopefully we'll move from where we are to where we want to be. We're now joined by Henry Nusegbe. Henry is an economist. Thanks for joining the program this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
The statistics are sordid, but on the other side, bright. They say we have the 26th largest economy in the world, a newly rebased economy. Why are we where we are?
Okay, thank you. Well, it's important for us to understand certain economic indices. When we talk about GDP, we talk about the size of an economy. That is, what is the total volume of productive activities taking place in a certain country during a given period of time. The rebasing of our economy was done so that we could capture certain sectors that had not been previously captured in the past. The last time we did such a rebasing was in 1990, and as at then, there are certain industries, new industries that are coming into play, such as Nollywood, such as the telecoms industry, and certain other sectors. And, you know, the purpose of rebasing is to give an accurate view of the economic activities that take place within different sectors. The fact that we had not rebased since 1990 now meant that some sectors that come after that had not been accurately captured. And so that was what this rebasing was all about. It's more like a corrective exercise so as to capture these new sectors. Ordinarily, an economy should be rebased typically every 5 to 10 years. So we hadn't done it for a long time and was long overdue. So that's what the rebasing is. Is
that why we have a lot, over 50% of our population poor?
Well, the fact must be stated that rebasing has nothing to do with poverty rate. Rebasing doesn't necessarily increase the size of the economy by itself. What it does is accurately state what the size of an economy is. In other words, we had not been accurately stating the true size of our economy before now. So it's just something that has been corrected. The poverty situation in the country is something completely different, and it's something that has to do with a whole lot of other factors that are not related to the size of the economy, but more like the structure of the economy and the structure of the political system that underpins that economy.
But, okay, just from what you said now, during the presidential media chat, the president was, he told us that Nigeria is not poor, or Nigerians are not poor, but what we need is a redistribution of wealth. By saying so, it means a particular group have this wealth and it needs to be redistributed to the others. Now I'm talking about the 112 million. How do we go about that redistribution?
Oh, yes. The president was right in saying that, and it points to what I said earlier about the structure of our economy. We have an economy that thrives on extraction of resources, specifically crude oil. Now, when you look at most developed and advanced economies, they have a different structure, one that emphasizes, an inclusive growth in the sense that you have growth that creates jobs. What do we mean by that? We have sectors, growth in different sectors of economy, specifically in manufacturing, specifically in services, that help to create opportunities for people who have ideas, who have skills, who have talents to make use of those skills and talents. Now, if you look at the structure of the Nigerian economy, we have a structure that concentrates too much power at the federal level. And so some of the developmental activities that can drive growth at the local level are within the strict purview of the federal government. Let's take an example, building of ports. We have a lopsided structure in this economy that ensures that only a place like Lagos has a viable port. But if you look at the seaboard of Nigeria, you can have alternative ports in Warri, in Port Harcourt, and in Calabar, to mention but 3. Yet we have a structure that says only the federal government can build ports. It means a state governor in Delta, for instance, cannot build a port at Warri that, for example, link the southeast. A visionary governor could build a port at Warri, build a railway line to link the southeast, such that goods that some of these Igbo traders want to import into the country, they don't necessarily have to go to Lagos in order to import those goods. They can go to Warri. And so things like that can help stimulate economic activity along that corridor and help create jobs and lift people out of poverty. So the poverty in Nigeria has more to do with the structure of the country where we have decided to run than anything else. And it is that structure that needs to be changed before we can begin to make progress.
Quickly now, you said the structure needs to be changed.
Yes.
How do we change that structure?
How do we reform the manner in which we run our government? how do we reform the avenues through which political power is amassed and distributed? How do we reform the means through which economic resources are generated and distributed? Now, we have a country where we have a system where oil revenues are shared centrally by the federal level. Oil revenues that come from a certain part of the country are shared centrally among different states. And so those states that do not necessarily have those oil revenues, they have a perverse incentive to keep things the same way rather than developing the resources they have. The only way to ensure that we are able to develop an inclusive economy that can create jobs and lift people out of poverty is to break this very restrictive style of governance such that we ensure that each region, each state in the country can develop their own skills, their own talents, dig into the creativity and the talents of their own people as opposed to merely drilling oil. That can only happen when we ensure what we call resource control and true federalism, such that the Niger Delta states can generate wealth from their own oil revenues, and we encourage other states who do not necessarily have oil revenues to develop their own resources. So we must reform the structure and force the non-oil producing states to develop their own sources of revenue. That's the only way we can create wealth that can lift people out of poverty, create jobs, and ensure prosperity for us all. But as long as we continue with this structure, we really can't make any headway.
Henry, thank you for coming on the program this afternoon.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having your thoughts being shared with the Nigerian people.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's where we are, and that's what we know, 112 million people. What we don't know is how soon will this number spiral on a downward level to a level where poverty will be reduced to its barest minimum. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll look at your tweets, your comments, as well as review the 5 most viewed videos on our YouTube channel for the past week. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this. Revealing discussions there as well. To view both discussions, visit our website, it's channelstv.com, and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/channelsweb. And as a social media powered program, we do appreciate your comments on our platform. Let's take a look at some of them.
A cabaret show.
In the 5th most viewed video, the Chief of Staff of the Edo State Government House, Patrick Obahiagon, described the controversy rocking the State House of Assembly as a legislative infamy.
To be deprecated by all compos mentis homo sapiens.
Following the gubernatorial elections held in the Land of Honor, Ekiti State, Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has officially returned the candidate of the People's Democratic Party as the winner of the election.
The 4th most viewed video shows the full concession speech of the outgoing governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi.
Don't worry.
Comedian Bovey is the man to watch out for in the third most viewed video, where he's seen dropping rip-cracking jokes at the Vanguard Personality of the Year award ceremony.
Sometimes I dey wish make God just scatter everything, take everybody destiny from them. Come scatter them for ground, say make we start again. Dangote go dey find in destiny, no say I don't match am. I don't match am for ground like this.
The second most viewed video is Channels Television online streaming platform on YouTube. Viewers from around the world can watch Africa's best TV station from the comfort of their mobile phones and computers.
As if your father is the owner of this complex.
Is it my father or your father?
Yes, your father.
My father.
The most viewed video in the past week shows Edo lawmakers in free-for-all fight.
Well, that's a review of some of your comments on the videos that you watched the most in the past week. Since the House of Representatives has cleared the NNPC of any wrongdoing in the Sanusi Gate, this is a breakdown of what $20 billion can buy if one decides to go shopping. That amount can buy 60 brand new Boeing 777 aircrafts at $300 million each, enough to revive Nigeria Airways. That amount can build 2 refineries. It costs business magnate Aliko Dangote $9 billion to build one. That amount can build 3 $7 billion world-class airports, like the one obtainable at Heathrow Terminal 5. That amount can build 32 world's 7-star hotels in Dubai. That costs $600 million. And with $20 billion, one can afford to build 2 hospitals in each senatorial district of the Federation at the cost of $70 million as obtainable in Mauritius. Now, think of the employment opportunities all these amenities will provide and the extent at which poverty can be reduced in Nigeria. I leave you with these thoughts to ponder upon, and until I see you next week, let's continue this discussion on the social media addresses showing on your screen. I am Victor Matthias.